Have you ever had to send an announcement at work and just paused, wondering, should this be a memo, an email? What's the right move here? Well, picking the right format isn't just about following rules. It's about making sure your message lands with clarity and impact. Today, we're going to demystify 3 key tools in your communication toolkit: memos, circulars, and notices.
So, picture this. Your manager has a really important session to announce for the entire staff. They turn to you and say, "Hey, can you get this out for me?" Sounds like a simple request, right? But it comes with a big question. What's the right way to actually send this message?
And look, this isn't just some textbook scenario. It's a real, everyday challenge in the workplace. The format you choose can literally be the difference between a message that's crystal clear and one that causes total confusion. Nailing this stuff makes you look sharp, efficient, and on top of your game. Okay, so here are the specifics of our task. We need to announce an internal orientation session. It's for all staff members. It's on Tuesday at 11 a.m. in the conference room, and it's coming from your manager, Mr. Russell Peter. We've got the who, what, when, and where. The only question left is the how. What's the right vehicle to deliver this message?
For any communication task, you really need the right tool for the job. So let's go ahead and open up our professional toolkit and take a look at 3 of the essentials: the memo, the circular, and the notice. We're going to start with the one you'll probably end up using the most.
First up, we've got the memo. Think of this as your go-to for pretty much all internal communication. It's less formal than some big, long report, but it's perfect for getting key information, decisions, or requests down on paper for your colleagues, whether they're your teammates, your boss, or the people who report to you.
Next in our toolkit is the circular. Now the key word here, and I really want you to remember this, is selective. This isn't for everybody. A circular is an announcement that you, circulate to a very specific, targeted group of people inside the company. And finally, there's the notice. For this one, I want you to think broad. A notice is what you use when your message needs to reach a much larger, more general audience. You don't really send it out to individuals. You post it up somewhere central, like a bulletin board, for everyone to see.
So of those 3, the memo is arguably the most versatile workhorse you've got. It does a lot of heavy lifting. So it's worth spending a little time really dissecting its anatomy to understand what makes a memo truly effective.
You know, to really get what a memo is all about, it helps to look at where the word even comes from. It's from the Latin word memorandus, which literally means a thing which must be remembered. And that, right there, is its core purpose: to create a clear, official record that people can look back on.
So what's the secret sauce for writing a really great memo? Well, it all comes down to a skill called précis writing. It's basically the art of being brief without being confusing, of boiling a message down to its absolute essence without losing any of the meaning.
This skill is super easy to remember because it boils down to the 3 C's. First, condensation. Keep it short and sweet. Second, comprehension. Make sure it's impossible for someone to misunderstand you. And third, coverage. You've got to make sure all the essential points are still in there. You master these 3, and you're going to write some killer memos.
Structurally, a memo is beautifully simple. First, you've got your header that tells you who it's for, who sent it, the date, and what it's all about. Then comes the body, where you put your actual message. After that is the close, or action, which tells the reader what you need them to do next. And finally, you have the courtesy copy, or CC, which is how you loop in anyone else who needs to know what's going on.
Now here's a tactical question for you. When you're writing the body of your memo, do you just drop your main point right at the beginning, or do you kind of build up to it? Well, the answer really depends on what you're trying to say.
This brings us to 2 main game plans. For good news or just routine stuff, you're going to want to use the direct plan. State your main point right up top, then give the details. But if you think you might get some pushback or you really need to persuade someone, the indirect plan is your friend. You build your case with reasons first, and then you deliver the main point at the end. All right, we've pretty much got the memo down. Now let's shift gears and put the other 2 tools in our kit, the circular and the notice, head to head.
The difference between a circular and a notice really just boils down to 2 things: who's it for and how do they get it. Simple as that. A circular is actively sent to a specific group. A notice is posted in a central place for a much larger group to find.
Just think about the action involved, right? A circular for department heads needs to be actively circulated to make sure every single one of them gets the invite. But a notice for the company holiday list, that's more passive. It's posted for everyone to find when they need it. The examples here really spell it out. One is super targeted, the other is broadcast to everyone.
And it's worth pointing out that notices can get pretty serious. There's a special type called a show cause notice, which is a formal, sometimes even legal document sent to one person requiring them to explain their actions. It just goes to show you how official and important these documents can be.
Okay, we've got our toolkit, we know how everything works, let's go back to where we started and finally solve this problem.
So here's our scenario one more time. An orientation session. It's for all staff members, and it's from your manager. You now know the difference between a memo, a circular, and a notice. So, what's the call? What are you going to write?
The answer is a circular. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait a minute, isn't all staff a large group? And yeah, it is. But here's the key. It's a specific, defined group within the company. A notice is better for general info that anyone could see walking by a bulletin board. For something like an official orientation, you need to actively circulate the message to ensure every single staff member actually gets it.
So let's lock this in with a super simple checklist. Use a memo when you need to share detailed info or make a request. Use a circular when you're making an announcement to a specific targeted group. And use a notice when you need to post information for a very broad, general audience. Got it? Good.
So why does any of this really matter? It all comes down to creating a professional record, a paper trail. As the source material puts it so well, written communication provides a tangible and verifiable record. It's about creating clarity and accountability, and that is absolutely mission critical in any professional setting.
Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. I mean, we live in an age of Slack, of Microsoft Teams, of instant messages flying back and forth all day. So I'll ask you, in a world that moves that fast, why is taking the time to master these more formal, more structured types of writing not just a nice skill to have, but a truly critical one for your career?